Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Today we are looking at examining or analyzing exam questions before answering them. In short, we are looking at how to analyze exam questions effectively. So, to start with, we need to understand the importance of examining questions. It will help you to avoid misinterpretation or misunderstanding of the question. It will help you focus on what's being asked, what you are being asked to write. And thirdly, you'll be able to write accurate answers. One, what are the different types of questions that you may encounter? You've got discuss, questions where you need to explore all aspects of a topic, evaluate, where you assess the value or importance of whatever subject you have been asked to write, compare, where you show similarities and differences of the situation or a thing or context, analyze, where you break down a situation into different parts and talk about them or write about them. Lastly, we have explain, questions where you are asked to explain something or to clarify or provide details. What are the common questions, common question types? We've got multiple choice. And in Zambian context, multiple choice means you are given four options and you choose one. It's not single choice, it's multiple choice. Short answer, this is where you write one word, two words, or even a sentence or two. And then essay, this is where you write compositions like in history, civic education, in English. We always have such questions where you have to write a long form type of text. Then solving. This is where we write uh, questions like in mathematics where you're given equations, or in physics or chemistry. So most of the problem solving questions will be in the science based subjects like chemistry, physics, biology, mathematics. Those will require you to answer those types of questions. Breaking down questions. How can we break a question down? We need to identify the topic and know what the question is all about. Secondly, identify the scope. What are the limitations of the question that you are answering? Limitations could be in terms of place, in terms of time, in terms of context. So if you are writing about things that happen in modern time, your scope is modern time. Then identify key terms. Key terms are also very important in analyzing questions because they tell you what exactly to do. For example, you need to look for things like briefly or details or explain. Those are very important to think about. Then let's look at an example. Evaluate the impact of social media on communication in modern society. So, looking at the three steps that we looked at, we can see that to identify a topic in this question, we are looking at impact of social media. We are also looking at communication. These are the key areas, or these are the key focus areas. Then the scope is the modern society because it says in modern society. And then directive word is evaluate. So, like we said, when we looked at the different types of questions which will ask you to explain, describe, and all those, you see that those are directive words, and it's very important to know what you are required to do at whatever point. And also, we need to identify what are the requirements are, or what the requirements will be in a particular question. And how can you do this? Look at the allocation of marks, where you are given 20 marks, or you don't need to write few words compared to where you have been given 5 marks. So that will indicate how much you can write on a particular question. And also look at the keywords. If the question says in details, those I think are markers that will point to what you're supposed to write. And then to avoid pitfalls, do not misread the question. You need to be careful reading the question. so that you understand what you're required to do. How do you plan your answer? To plan your answer, you need to sketch an outline. Now, for me, my favorite subject is history. We know that if you are going to write an essay about a kingdom, for example, kingdoms have got, or essays on kingdoms have got a tendency of taking an introduction, going to the rise of the kingdom and the fall of the kingdom. You can see that we've got introduction, rise, fall, and conclusion. The same principle can be used in writing compositions in English. You know that every composition we write in English has got an introduction, it has got a main body, and it has got a conclusion. And within those three divisions, you can write certain points like main body, I'm going to write blah, blah, blah. You put your points. So make that outline. It will help you. Then you can rephrase the question. That was the third thing. Rephrase the question just to help you. So let's look at an example on how we can rephrase a question. Explain how climate change affects food security. You can rewrite that sentence like, how does the changing climate impact availability of food sources? Because when you talk about food security, we're talking about food sources and how we can sustain that so that there is no hunger. So just how you understand it, but make sure that when you rewrite it or you rephrase it, you are not moving away from what the question is asking you to do. Then another thing that we need to think about is every time we have an opportunity, we need to practice these things or the points that we have mentioned in this presentation because they are very important in not keeping us abreast of what we can anticipate in the exam. So going through past papers is very important. Use sample questions to gain confidence. It's very important when you see that you can answer past papers, and there are websites where you can find free past papers. You don't need money, you don't need to pay, all you need are bundles. And if you are watching this video, it means you've got bundles to go online. Same bundles can be used to download those past papers. And try to break down questions with classmates, with people, discuss, work in a group. It's very important just to learn from your colleagues who may know a lot more than you do. What is the takeaway from this presentation? Make sure you read the question and break down questions into small chunks so that you can understand and answer it fully. Secondly, focus on directive words. If the word says explain, do not describe. If the word says uh, narrate, do not explain. Those are very important. Then practice analyzing past papers, practice analyzing exam questions. It will help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.